When young Lucy dialed 911, her voice trembled as she ordered a pizza, leaving the dispatcher puzzled. But as soon as the police arrived at her doorstep, their faces turned pale when they discovered the chilling truth hidden inside her seemingly ordinary home. What they found in Lucy's home would haunt them for years to come. But before we start, smash the like button and make sure to subscribe if you haven't, and hit that notification bell so that you won't miss any new stories. "You look beautiful," Chris said to his wife Marcy as he watched her walk down the stairs. Tonight was their first date night since Lucy was born, and they were both very excited to have an evening with just the two of them, some tasty food, and a bottle of wine. The last time was over 3 years ago. Both Chris and Marcy were very much looking forward to the evening. Adriana, their babysitter, had agreed to watch Lucy for the entire evening until they returned. The couple left the house feeling confident that their daughter was in good hands and looking forward to a romantic dinner. Of course, they had no idea that the night was going to end in disaster. After they left, Adriana and Lucy put on a movie, made their favorite snacks, and played some games. Lucy absolutely loved Adriana, and she did not mind being without her parents as long as this girl was by her side. It clicked between them from the first moment they met, and Adriana made her feel safe and happy. After they finished the movie, Adriana said that it was time for bed. Lucy was not tired yet, and she tried to convince Adriana to let her stay up for just a little more. But Adriana insisted. She managed to win over the little girl, and they went upstairs to get ready for bed. They were just brushing Lucy's teeth when the doorbell rang. Adriana said, "You finished brushing, just like Mommy and Daddy showed you. I'll go and see who it is, but I'll be right back." Lucy nodded, and she continued carefully brushing her teeth, making sure to do it exactly like her parents had taught her. By the time she finished, Adriana still had not come back upstairs. From that moment, everything went very quickly. It was only minutes later that the phone rang at the 911 call center, and dispatcher Sarah picked up. "911, what's your emergency?" she said, and she was surprised to hear a little girl's voice on the other end of the line. "I want a pizza, please," she whispered. At first, Sarah thought that someone was pulling a prank, but when the girl repeated herself again, she understood that this was a serious call. "What's your name?" she asked. "Lucy." "Can I have a pizza?" the girl responded, and Sarah still did not understand what was going on. "Is your mommy or daddy there, Lucy?" Sarah asked the little girl a few more questions, and then she finally understood what was going on. Lucy had asked for a pizza again, and then it clicked. She immediately contacted the police and ordered for a unit to be sent to the little girl's location, which she had quickly tracked down. "Please, you have to hurry," she added. When they got to the house, they saw that the lights were still on. They quickly got out of the car, and Daniel was the first one to arrive at the front door. He immediately saw that something was wrong. The door was open. The officers sneaked inside, holding their guns in front of them. The house looked empty, but it was obvious that someone had been in here. They split up to search every room, and Daniel immediately went upstairs. Upstairs, all of the lights were off. He searched each and every room, and he also checked the closets and behind the beds, but there was nobody there. When he checked every room twice, he returned downstairs and asked, "Are you sure that this is the right address?" "Positive," his colleague replied. "It looks like we're too late." Outside, the night air was still. Officer Danielle, flashlight in hand, scanned the yard. His beam caught a glimpse of something in the bushes. As he approached, his heart raced. There, sprawled and unconscious, lay Adriana. Immediately, Daniel called for medical assistance. Adriana's eyes fluttered open, her gaze unfocused. As the paramedics checked her vitals, her confusion deepened. She remembered being in the house, then a sudden, sharp fear, but the details eluded her. While Adriana was being attended to, another officer inspected the yard. These subtle indicators pointed towards a violent encounter. As Adriana sat in the ambulance, fragments of memory began to resurface. "There was someone else in the house?" she whispered, her voice trembling. "I heard a noise, went to check, then it's all a blur." Her eyes were wide with the effort of remembering. The officers listened intently, hoping for a lead, but her memories were fractured, offering more questions than answers. Back at the restaurant, Marcy's phone rang. She glanced at the screen. It was an unknown number. "Hello?" she answered. The voice on the other end, steady yet empathetic, belonged to Officer Daniel. "Mrs. Grayson, there's been an incident at your home. It's about Lucy. Marcy's heart plummeted. Her fork clattered to the plate as her world began to spin. Officer Daniel stepped outside, his gaze sweeping across the neighborhood. He and his team began knocking on doors, seeking any CCTV footage. Neighbors, alarmed and eager to help, provided their security videos. Each digital eye offered a new perspective, a chance to spot something amiss. The officers collected the footage with a sense of urgency, hoping for a glimpse of the kidnapper. In the precinct's forensic lab, experts hunched over screens, analyzing the evidence collected. Fingerprints were compared against databases, but no immediate matches were found. Each piece of evidence was a puzzle piece, waiting to fit into the larger picture. As they worked, a profile of the suspect began to emerge, not yet complete, but a crucial step forward in the investigation. Back at the house, a discovery piqued the interest of the investigating team, a distinct footprint, different from the others found. Officers began cross-referencing it with shoe databases, narrowing down potential suspects. Social media buzzed with posts and shares about Lucy. The entire town echoed with a sense of urgency and desperation, each person determined to play their part in bringing Lucy home. In the quiet of the forensic lab, a breakthrough emerged. A fingerprint, lifted from the ransom note, matched a profile in the criminal database. Detective Miller studied the match closely. This was the lead they desperately needed. Hope, dimmed by setbacks and frustrations, flickered anew. With the identity of the suspect confirmed, the police sprang into action. Detective Miller issued orders, his voice firm and decisive. Teams mobilized, fanning out across the city. The chase was on, a race against the clock to catch the kidnapper. The search team scanned streets, alleys, and abandoned buildings. Time was their greatest adversary now. Detective Miller received a call, a sighting, a possible location. The net was tightening. Coordinates were relayed, and a SWAT team swiftly deployed. As they converged on the location, the tension was palpable. A rescue operation was meticulously planned, balancing precision with urgency. With a silent signal, the breach began. Doors were forcibly opened, rooms swiftly cleared. In a small, dimly lit room, they found her. Lucy, though scared, was unharmed. The moment she was spotted, a wave of relief washed over the team. The nightmare was over. Lucy was safe. The moment Lucy saw her parents, a mixture of relief and joy spread across her face. It was a scene of pure, raw emotion. A family reunited after facing their darkest fear. The nightmare was over, and their little girl was back in their arms. In the days following Lucy's return, the Grayson family began the delicate process of healing. They sought counseling, understanding the emotional and psychological impact of the ordeal. The community's role in Lucy's rescue was nothing short of remarkable. A celebration was held in the town square, honoring the volunteers, police, and everyone who had contributed. In the aftermath of the event, the Graysons and their community took time to reflect on the importance of safety and vigilance. The day of the trial arrived, bringing with it a sense of finality. The kidnapper, now in custody, faced the full weight of justice. In the courtroom, emotions ran high as he was led in. Handcuffed, Chris and Marcy sat, their expressions a mix of anger and relief. As the trial unfolded, details of the kidnapper's identity and motives came to light. He was a man with a troubled past, his life a tapestry of wrong turns and missed opportunities. The trial delved into the kidnapper's financial woes, painting a picture of a man cornered by circumstance. His debt, mounting bills, and the inability to find stable employment were highlighted. The gavel struck, marking the beginning of the kidnapper's trial. The courtroom, filled with an air of solemnity, represented a turning point. For the Graysons, this moment was a culmination of their ordeal, a chance to see justice served. As the judge pronounced the sentence, there was a collective breath of relief. The kidnapper would face the consequences of his actions, a fact that offered a semblance of peace to all affected. In the aftermath of the trial, the Grayson family looked towards a new dawn. The trauma they had endured would always be part of their story, but it did not define them. They found strength in each other and in the support of their community. With each new day, they embraced life with a deeper appreciation. Family bonded not just by blood, by the resilience of the human spirit in the face of adversity.